Welcome to the Gorilla 6 video series. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to properly prepare a screenplay for import into Gorilla. The screenplay programs that Gorilla accepts are Final Draft, Final Draft Tagger, Movie Magic Screenwriter, and Celtics. The file formats are the FDX file, the SEX file, and the HTML file. Let's go ahead and open a screenplay in Final Draft. The first thing I want to point out is how to properly format a slug line. The slug line includes the interior-exterior field, followed by a period, the set field, followed by a dash, followed by the day-night field, in this instance, day. To show this better, let's take a look at some of the incorrect formatting styles a lot of writers make. Here you can see the proper way to format a slug line and some of the improper ways. Notice the first one. Many times writers will use the interior-exterior field followed by two dashes, the set field, another two dashes, and then the day-night field. Look at the second one, which just uses periods all throughout the slug line, including after the set field. The last two are more examples of how to not write a slug line with the use of a continued or a later that day at the end of the slug line. Writers will also use phrases like moments later or an hour later. You need to enter a time of day at the end of your slug line. Some of the acceptable entries for the day-night field are shown here. Notice that all these options are actual times of day: day, night, morning, afternoon, etc. Now, that is not to say that you cannot use other times of the day. If you do, you will have to create that time of day entry into Gorilla so that it has an associated strip color. I will show you how to do that in another lesson. So let's go back to the screenplay. The next thing I want to explain is scene numbering. Notice that in this screenplay, the scenes are numbered. You can see that very clearly on the left and on the right-hand side of the screen. Normally, when you first start a screenplay, and I'm going to create a new blank screenplay right now, you will notice that the scenes do not number automatically, which is fine. As a writer, you just want to concentrate on writing the screenplay. However, when you are preparing the screenplay for export, you want to make sure that all your scenes are numbered. In order to number your scenes, go up to the production menu. Now remember, this is in Final Draft. Select the Scene Numbers option and select the Number Renumbered checkbox and click OK. Once you do that, all your scenes will be numbered. Next, I want to explain what exports from your exported file into Gorilla. Now, this depends on which screenplay program you are using. If you are using Final Draft's FDX file format, then everything comes into Gorilla. This includes the slug line, the scene number, the action, the characters, the dialogue, and if you tagged your elements in Tagger, all your elements and what scenes they are attached to. So, for example, let's take a look at scene 6. In this scene, Barney has some dialogue. This means that Barney will be imported into Gorilla as a character, and Barney will be attached to scene 6 in the breakdown sheet. If we go to a scene, and here is another example in scene 7, where Barney and Chubby are both characters in the scene, but notice that Chubby does not have any dialogue. This means that when we export this, Barney will be attached to scene 7, but Chubby will not, even though he is part of the scene and needs to be attached to this scene. I'm going to save this FDX file, and move it to the My Screenplays folder, which is in the Saved Schedules folder. This is where tagging comes in, and you can watch the lesson on tagging in the screenplay if you want to tag your screenplay before you import it into Gorilla. If you are using Final Draft as your screenplay program, Gorilla accepts the FDX file format, which is the same file format that Final Draft saves in. Next, if you are using Movie Magic Screenwriter as your screenplay program, most everything that you need also comes into Gorilla. The only data that doesn't is the action and the dialogue, which comes in with the Final Draft FDX file, so that you can actually see the screenplay in Gorilla. If you're using Movie Magic Screenwriter, you need to export your screenplay into the .sex file format. In order to do that, go to the File pull-down menu, select the Export to option, and select the Gorilla Scheduling option. I am going to move this .sex file into the My Screenplay folders also. Next, I'm going to show you how to export a screenplay if we are using Celtx. Open your screenplay in Celtx. From the Script pull-down menu, select Export Script. Save it as an HTML file. This is the file you can import into Gorilla. Exporting from Celtx will give you the least amount of information. You will get the scenes and the characters, but you will not get the page count, which is important. And you cannot tag anything in Celtx. You will need to do that in Gorilla. I'm going to move this .html file into the My Screenplays folder. Before we import one of the screenplay files that we just exported, I want to comment on foreign language screenplays. If you are writing a screenplay in a language other than English, that's fine. Just make sure that the interior-exterior entry and the day-night entry is in English. The rest of your screenplay, including the set field, action, dialogue, can all be in another language. Now, let's go to Gorilla and see what we've got. If you select the New or Load Schedule button, and then select the Import Load Screenplay button, you will see, among the other sample screenplay files, the 3 screenplays that we just moved in there. To import any one of them, select the file. For this lesson, I will select the FDX file, since we will import all the information from the screenplay into Gorilla. When the import is complete, you will be taken to the Breakdown Sheets screen. That's a wrap. Have a great shoot.